Hey, mama, if you're running on coffee, feeling foggy, exhausted, and already overwhelmed before the day even starts, you're not alone. So many moms are doing all the right things for their health and still feel tired, frustrated, and confused by all the noise out there. Hi, I'm Jerusha, holistic wellness coach, wife, and mom, and I've been there. I spent years in survival mode, relying on caffeine and willpower, wondering what was wrong with my body. Until God showed me something that changed everything. A woman's body isn't broken, it's beautifully designed to thrive. This is where we ditch the world's way of health, cut through the noise, and bust the myths that have kept women stuck and exhausted. Together, we'll uncover simple, life giving truths about women's health the way God designed it. So you can find clarity, hope, real energy, and confidence for motherhood and the calling God's placed on your life. If you're ready to rise into the health you were created for, you're in the right place. It all starts right now. One of the things I've noticed when I talk with moms about nutrition is this. Most of us are actually trying. We're not living on soda and fast food all day. We're making oatmeal, we're cooking rice, we're roasting vegetables. We're trying to choose the healthy options. And yet, we still feel tired. Our hormones feel off. Our stress tolerance is low, and weight loss feels harder than it should. And it makes you wonder, if I'm eating healthy, why does my body still feel depleted? And today I want to show you something really important. Sometimes the difference between feeling nourished and feeling depleted isn't eating completely different foods. It's simply learning to ask a better question. Not just, is this healthy? But instead, is there a version of this that gives my body more? Because many of the foods we think of as healthy are actually nutritionally light. They aren't bad, but they're also not doing as much for your body as they could. And when you're a mom whose body is juggling hormones, stress, metabolism, and energy production, those extra nutrients make a huge difference. So, today I want to walk through something really practical. Not a list of superfoods, but simple upgrades and swaps that take foods you're already eating and make them far more nourishing. When most people think about eating healthy, they think about cutting things out: less sugar, less junk food, less processed food. And yes, those things matter. But what I found is that adding more nutrients often matters even more because your body doesn't just run on food, it runs on minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids. And these are the things that support energy production, hormone balance, stress resilience, and metabolism. And when those nutrients are missing, your body starts making trade offs, which we talked about in the last episode. You might still be eating, but your body may not actually be getting what it needs to function well. So, today, let's make this very practical. Sometimes when we talk about nutrition, it can feel abstract. You hear things like, eat more nutrient dense foods. Okay, but what does that actually look like in real life? So instead of just talking about individual foods, let's walk through a few simple upgrades you could make in a normal day. And remember, the goal here isn't perfection, it's simply learning how to take something you might already eat and make it far more nourishing. Let's start with a few quick examples. Sometimes the shift is as simple as choosing the more nutrient dense version of something. For example, instead of regular potatoes, try sweet potatoes. Instead of yogurt, try kefir, which contains way more beneficial bacteria for your gut health. Instead of regular bread, swap it out for some sourdough, which is easier to digest and supports better blood sugar stability. If you're tempted to eat chips and dip, consider eating veggies with hummus, guacamole, salsa, or tzatziki. You can also swap pasta for beans or lentils. I know they don't always make sense in a meal, but they're great as a side, a salad base in a bowl, or even in replace of noodles in soup. If you're going to eat oatmeal, especially overnight oats, consider making overnight chia pudding instead. Not only does it have way more fiber, but it also has protein, minerals, and way more healthy fats than you'll get in oatmeal alone. If you love granola, consider swapping to nuts and seeds, maybe with a little dried fruit or dark chocolate for that extra sweetness. And if you love your toast with jam, let me convince you to switch to toast with nut butter and berries. It is so much healthier and has a lot more staying power too. If you love crackers and cheese, consider switching to apple slices with cheese or nuts. It's so much healthier and a better form of fiber. You could eat a plain salad, or you could bump up the nutrition with avocado, pumpkin seeds, maybe some olives or feta cheese that's going to add even more nutrition. And if you have a craving for fries, consider roasting sweet potato fries instead. Not only are they so delicious, but they carry way more nutrition and they're easier on your blood sugar too. We make a homemade roasted sweet potato fries to go alongside our burgers. And honestly, my family loves them so much, we've never turned back. These small swaps don't require a whole new diet. They simply increase the nutritional return on foods you're already eating. Now, before we move on, I want to pause here and say something. If healthy food has ever felt boring to you, there's a good chance it's not because it's truly boring at its core. It's usually because it hasn't been prepared well yet. And this is actually really good news because when you learn how to prepare nourishing foods well, they become foods you genuinely enjoy eating. Crunchy textures, fresh herbs, healthy fats, salt and acid balance. Those things can turn simple ingredients into something that tastes incredible. Because I want you to know this, Mama. Healthy food should feel satisfying and delicious, not like punishment. So don't settle. If you've tried a food one way and you think you're ready to revisit it, make sure you look up some creative ways to make it because preparation matters. And you deserve good food. Let's continue with some additional day to day examples because I want to share a few more quick swaps that many moms will recognize. Instead of eating a granola bar, try an apple with nut butter. A lot of us grab granola bars because they feel quick and easy, and they're probably right in front of us because our kids are eating them too. But most granola bars are mostly refined grains, sugar, and very little protein or fat. Instead, try something like a green apple with almond butter or peanut butter. Now you have fiber, healthy fats, natural sugars, and nutrients that help stabilize blood sugar. And that combination helps prevent the energy crash that often happens after processed snack bars. Another common snack many moms reach for is crackers. Again, not terrible, but nutritionally, they're mostly refined carbohydrates. Instead, try snacks like almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. These all provide healthy fats, protein, and important minerals that are going to build your body from the inside out. Minerals play a huge role in supporting your nervous system and stress resilience, which many moms are depleted in. Next up, we have bottled salad dressing. Here's a simple swap that can dramatically improve the quality of a meal. Many bottled dressings contain seed oils, added sugars, and preservatives. But instead, try something incredibly simple and delicious. Drizzle your salad with olive oil, add a little salt, and sprinkle on some seasoning like Italian seasoning, za'atar, or dried herbs. It adds incredible flavor while also providing healthy fats and antioxidants to a meal. And honestly, when you start doing this, a lot of bottle dressings start tasting overly sweet and processed. Another easy upgrade is swapping regular chicken broth or beef broth for bone broth. Bone broth contains collagen, amino acids, and minerals, and these nutrients support gut health, recovery, connective tissue, and skin and joint health. It's one of those small changes that adds real nourishment without changing your routine at all. Next up, we have fish. If you're eating fish in your meal, an upgrade that is incredibly beneficial is choosing salmon instead of whitefish occasionally. Whitefish is still healthy, but salmon contains omega 3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and powerful anti inflammatory nutrients. These omega 3 fats support brain health, hormone balance, and nervous system regulation, which can make a meaningful difference for moms dealing with stress and fatigue. Now, let's talk about yogurt. Yogurt is good for you, but there's a really easy way to upgrade this meal to provide even more support for your body. Instead of eating yogurt by itself, try turning it into a yogurt bowl. First off, let me give a little caveat. Let's make sure we're buying plain yogurt. If you want to add sweetness to it, then bring it home, add some honey, maybe sprinkle in some cinnamon, and then add things like berries, chia seeds, walnuts, or a little nut granola on top. Now, that snack or breakfast contains probiotics, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants, which supports both gut health and stable energy throughout the day. All right, Mama, we've covered some simple examples, but I want to talk about some foods that we typically think of as healthy, but they might not be helping us as much as we think. First up is protein bars. I see a lot of moms turning to protein bars as a snack or even a meal that they feel is healthy and convenient. And I completely understand why. They're marketed as healthy, they're quick, they're easy to grab and go. No prep required, right? I mean, how much easier could eating healthy get? But the reality is that many protein bars are highly processed foods. They often contain protein isolates that mess with your hormones, artificial sweeteners, processed oils that cause inflammation, and honestly, very little real nutrition. They may contain protein, technically, but they often don't provide the full range of nutrients your body actually needs to thrive. So instead, try quick, real food options like Greek yogurt with berries, cottage cheese with tomato and a little olive oil drizzled on top, maybe some coconut chia pudding with pineapple, or a sweet potato with almond butter and raspberries. I know it sounds weird, but don't knock it until you've tried it. It's really delicious. These options provide protein, fiber, healthy fats, and vitamins and minerals, and they take very little preparation. Plus, let's be honest, they usually taste way better than a chalky protein bar. Next up is a common mistake for moms to make, and we talked about this. It's eating your kids' leftovers. Maybe a bite of their sandwich, a few crackers, half a waffle, some chicken nuggets, or a little bit of mac and cheese at the bottom of the bowl. And you might feel okay about this because technically you ate, and that's better than not eating at all, right? But the problem is that your body didn't actually receive a real meal. So instead, if you're gonna eat their leftovers, try building your own small plate alongside your kids. If you wanna snack on their leftovers, totally fine. But make sure you get something simple, even if it's like a couple eggs, whether they're something you made fresh or they're hard boiled, some avocado slices, and some fruit or veggies. Now you're actually giving your body protein, healthy fats, and some fiber, which supports energy, hormone balance, and stable blood sugar. You're still eating with your kids, but you're actually nourishing yourself too. When it comes to eating quick meals, another common breakfast mistake that moms make is defaulting to something as simple as toast. Maybe toast with butter or jam. And while that can taste great and be super easy and maybe even comforting when you're waking up already running on empty, the problem is that it's mostly carbohydrates, which means it often leads to blood sugar spikes, mid morning hunger, energy crashes, and even cravings later in the day. Instead, try pairing or replacing it with something that contains protein and healthy fats. For example, eggs and avocado, and that could be a replacement, or you could just add it in with the toast. Or maybe something like Greek yogurt with nuts and berries, or that cottage cheese with fruit and seeds, like we talked about earlier. These things are going to help stabilize blood sugar and provide nutrients that support hormone production, brain function, and sustained energy. So, whether you're swapping it out or just adding in addition to, these can make a big difference in how you feel the rest of your morning and even the rest of the day. Next up, let's talk about one of my favorite subjects. Honestly, I think we could do a whole podcast on this one day. But here's something I used to be totally guilty of: smoothies. For years, I loved making smoothies. They felt healthy, they felt easy, they were quick. But over time, I realized something. Many smoothies are actually not very nourishing for your body, and a lot of them rely heavily on protein powders. And when you think about it, protein powder doesn't resemble real life protein at all. I mean, think about the proteins God designed for us to eat: meat, beans, lentils, eggs, dairy like cottage cheese or yogurt. And these foods come with structure, nutrients, and staying power. A powder is highly processed. And because it digests very quickly, smoothies made mostly of fruit and protein powder can move through your digestive system fast and leave you hungry again within an hour or two. Now, if you want to use a protein powder, that's okay. Just choose a clean, plant based option without a lot of additives. But if you're making smoothies, there are ways to make them much more nourishing. First, choose your fruit carefully. Berries are one of the best options because they're lower in sugar and higher in antioxidants. But also remember to use fruit in moderation so your smoothies don't become a sugar bomb for your belly. Next, add some healthy fats. Try things like avocado, coconut milk from a can, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, or even nut butter. Healthy fats slow digestion and help keep you full longer. And finally, make sure that it's not all just protein powder and fruit. You want to add some fiber rich greens, things like spinach and kale. You aren't even going to notice these in your drink, but they're going to provide so much nutrition, which is incredibly important for a meal replacement. Now, instead of a quick sugar spike, you've created something that contains protein, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants. And suddenly, that smoothie becomes a nutritional powerhouse instead of just a quick drink that leaves you wanting more. What I love about these examples is this: none of them require a completely different diet or overhauling your life. They're simple, small shifts toward foods that nourish your body more deeply. And when those shifts happen consistently, they begin supporting your energy levels, your hormones, metabolism, and stress resilience in a way that really adds up over time. Now, those are some quick swaps that can add more nutrition throughout the day. But sometimes it's even easier to think about this in terms of whole meals. So, what does it look like to upgrade the meals you're already eating? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so these support your energy, hormones, and metabolism even more deeply. Let's start with breakfast. A lot of moms eat something like oatmeal in the morning, and oatmeal can be a part of a healthy breakfast. But on its own, oatmeal is mostly carbohydrates. So, one option is to upgrade the oatmeal. You might add in something like chia seeds, hemp seeds, Greek yogurt, berries, or a nut butter. Now, that same bowl of oatmeal contains protein, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants in combination with the carbohydrates, which makes it much more supportive for your energy and blood sugar. Another option is simply choosing a more nutrient dense breakfast altogether, something like eggs, bacon, and avocado. Now you're getting high quality protein, healthy fats, and important nutrients like choline. And that combination supports brain function, hormone production, and blood sugar stability, which means you're much less likely to experience the mid morning crash. And mama, this doesn't mean every single breakfast has to look perfect. Some mornings are still going to be quick. But when you understand what your body actually needs, it becomes easier to build meals that support you instead of leaving you depleted. Now, let's talk about lunch. A lot of people eat salads for lunch, but not all salads are created equal. You might have a salad that looks like romaine or iceberg lettuce with a hard boiled egg, maybe some chicken and bottled dressing. And that's not bad, but it's also fairly light nutritionally. Now, imagine upgrading that salad. Instead of romaine, you use crunchy cabbage. You add chicken, an egg, tomatoes, avocado, bacon, and maybe some healthy probiotic ranch. Now, instead of a kind of boring, bland salad, you have an incredible Cobb salad that's doing the most for you. Suddenly, that salad contains fiber, healthy fats, minerals, protein, and detox supporting compounds from those cruciferous veggies like the cabbage. And here's another practical bonus to this option. Cabbage actually keeps longer in the fridge than delicate greens. So it's often more practical for busy moms who are trying to prep food ahead of time. It's more delicious, more satisfying, and far more nourishing. And remember, you don't have to do all of these at once. Even choosing one or two of these upgrades this week can begin supporting your body in meaningful ways. Now, let's look at dinner. A typical dinner might be something like chicken and pasta. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But we can make one small shift that dramatically improves the nutritional value of that meal. Start the meal with a simple side salad, something like arugula, tomatoes, olive oil, and Parmesan cheese. Then eat your chicken, then enjoy your pasta. This does a few powerful things for your body. First, you're adding fiber, antioxidants, and minerals. But it also changes how your body processes that meal by eating it in the right order. When you eat fiber and vegetables before carbohydrates, it slows down how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream, which helps prevent large blood sugar spikes. And that supports better energy, more stable metabolism, and fewer cravings later on. And this is what I want moms to see. You don't need a completely different diet. You don't need to eliminate everything you enjoy. One of the biggest improvements come from learning how to upgrade the meals you're already eating. Adding nutrients, adding fiber, adding healthy fats, choosing foods that support your body more deeply. And those small changes can begin supporting your energy, hormones, metabolism, and stress resilience in ways that really add up over time. And remember, mama, you don't have to do this all overnight. Even choosing one or two of these swaps this week can begin supporting your body. Small shifts done consistently. That's how real health grows. And that's how you begin nourishing the body God gave you so you can show up with the energy and strength motherhood requires. Mama, my prayer is that today's episode reminded you that your health matters to God and that caring for your body is part of living out who He created you to be. When we place our hope in Him and lean into His design for women's health, we don't just feel better. We stop guessing, stop striving, and begin moving forward with confidence and purpose. We're not chasing perfection here. We're learning how to live well with wisdom and grace in the bodies God gave us. And as you grow in that understanding, you grow in confidence to live in the fullness of who you were created to be. If this conversation left you feeling encouraged and supported in your health, I'd love for you to leave a rating and review. We're not talking about health the way the world does, and your voice helps build this mission of empowering women to steward their health with faith, confidence, and truth. Make sure you're subscribed so we can keep walking this journey together. You're not in this alone. And keep going, mama. Every small step you take today is leading you toward the healthier, more vibrant life God created you for. I'm cheering you on.